fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be working on my patriotic camper. This is my last kit for DP for Veterans, which the Diamond Paint Along for that ends today. So you guys have been posting, and I can tell that the season is getting busier because there's been a little less posting going on. So I hope everyone is still having a fun time diamond painting. Let me zoom into where I'm going to be working, and then I will jump into everything. Okay, so I've got my timer started. I've got my drills out here. So let me just jump into my regular life update. What's been going on in my regular life? Somehow a lot and yet not much. I know how some weeks feel that way. We went to the dentist last week, all of us. I think I told you guys that the hygienist told hubby he had some kind of an abscess, so he went to the dentist. Dentist took an x-ray. Sure enough, he does. He thought it was a tooth that he already had a root canal on, but it is not. So, and he has a crown on that tooth, but they can't figure out because it hasn't had a root canal. He says it doesn't bother him. I guess the infection has been coming and going for months, and he just didn't think anything of it because it's not really been painful. He thought, like, he likes to eat popcorn, so he thought maybe like a popcorn kernel was getting stuck, so it would swell up, and then once he would, I don't know, brush better around that spot or whatever, it would go away, but he didn't really have any pain with it. But he has to go get a root canal on that tooth, so that's going to be nice and expensive. At least he already has a crown on it. They said they could just drill straight down through the crown, so we don't have that expense also. But I told him, I'm like, I'm really glad I made you go in because that's one of the things I was afraid of, was something was going to be wrong like that, and then that's going to cause him other problems. His blood sugar is not where they want it mostly because he doesn't take as much care with his diet as he should. He likes sweets a lot, and so it's a lot of, well, I'll just have one bite of this. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to have pumpkin pie, or he'll sneak some of the chocolate pie. My son is going to make an apple pie, and he makes that with the sugar substitutes, the Swerve, because I actually found it at the store here. It's not with all the baking supplies. It's in with all their organic stuff, which I don't know why. It's a chemical sugar substitute, so I'm not sure why it's in the organic section, but regardless, we did find it, and I found all of them. So we have brown sugar and granulated sugar for him to make his apple pie with. We went to the store and picked up everything we're going to need because everybody is coming over here to our house later today. So I have been cleaning like a fiend, trying to make sure that everything is clean and tidy. Like, it doesn't have to be super clean, but at least tidy. Hubby and I had to go buy some serving platters because, like, we're making a list of, okay, we're going to make this dish and this dish and this dish. And I'm like, well, what are we going to put it on the table in? Because we basically left but a couple of like holiday serving platters. It's like, I've got a Thanksgiving meat platter that we can put the turkey on, but we don't really have like a big bowl for mashed potatoes because everybody likes mashed potatoes. Guys, the amount of dog hair I have to pick off of my canvases lately. I mean, I'm glad we have the puppies, don't get me wrong, but man, there's dog hair everywhere. Anyway, hubby and I went to go buy some serving dishes so we would have those. His mom is a big wine drinker, so we bought some wine for her and his brother, and we had to get some beer for those who drink beer, because we just don't drink in my house. I just never really picked up the habit, and hubby just doesn't. We also went out and cleaned up our little dog garden. I call it a garden. The people who owned the house before us had two big dogs, so it's more like a dog run, but it looks like a garden. There's like a gravel area, and then the rest of it is concrete. We've tried getting them out on the grass on a leash. They have so far resisted that procedure. They don't like being on the leash. They would rather run around on the concrete. There's a little piece of grass in there, but anyway, we've had them for so long. I was telling my husband we need to go out and clean it up because there's little dog surprises everywhere. So we went and did that. Hubby's like, they're just going to mess it up again. I'm like, I know, but we need to clean it up. If we did nothing, eventually it would just overflow. And they have discovered the neighbor's dog next door, who, up until we got our two, I had never really seen. I guess it didn't make any noise because there wasn't any other dogs to bark at, but now they like to go out and bark at each other. We definitely need to get them into the groomers because, like I said, there's dog hair everywhere. We did buy a new cover for the couch, but we still need to get them into the groomers because I don't know if part of their shedding is because they're finally relaxed. Sable's still coming out of her shell, but they're both shedding. But Oscar's is more noticeable because he's a lighter color. So we bought a cover for our couch so we can vacuum it and take it off so we can wash it. But some of our blankets and stuff, I think I'm going to have to break down, and at least for the dog blankets and stuff, when I have to wash them, buy that bounce, the one that repels dog hair, because it's just everywhere. I'm hoping once we get them on a regular grooming schedule, it won't be so bad. We have tried brushing them, but neither one of them right now are super into that. And while they're still settling in, we haven't wanted to force them. So yeah, it's all a bit of a waiting game. Sable is still coming out of her shell, like I said. Hubby usually gets up with them first thing in the morning because he gets up earlier than I do. But she has gotten to the point where she will go outside and play with Oscar, and they'll. What did I hear? Hubby was on Facebook looking at other people's dogs the other day. I think they called it playing bitey face, where they just sit and kind of open their mouths towards each other like they're fighting, but they're really not. But she wouldn't even do that before, so I think we're getting there slowly. Still not accident free in the house, but I don't know if they're getting fewer and far between or they just have less opportunities because somebody's here most of the time. I did finally tell my daughter we got them. She knew we'd been thinking about it. It's just too expensive for her to have one right now. The apartment she was living in before, she could have had one, but it was extra expense. So I don't imagine things have gotten any cheaper, but I was sending her pictures of them and she's like, I need to come see them. They're so cute. So we're trying to figure out when she can come visit. I really wanted her to be able to fly up here for Christmas, but traveling during the winter is always dicey up here. More often than not, flights get canceled because of bad weather. And from where we were in Kansas, the cheapest flights usually have a minimum of 2 stops. So that's 2 places she could get stuck, missing a connection or something like that. And in the middle of winter, that's not fun, or get rerouted. That's happened to us before too. And then having to try and find your way to wherever. And she'd be traveling by herself, but she's just not necessarily always good in a crisis. So I didn't want to put her in that position. So now I'm thinking maybe she'll come. We'll see if she can come up during like spring break or something when it's nicer weather. And also when everyone and their brother isn't trying to get on a plane for Thanksgiving or Christmas. We did do some other things this week. My family back in the States had their Thanksgiving. Everybody went over to my sister's house. So I got to see my brother, my sister, my 2 nephews. I called earlier in the day and talked to my daughter just because I wanted to have some time to talk to just her without getting interrupted by everybody else. So I got a nice long chat with everybody. It was good. My sister is still liking her new job, so that's awesome. My older nephew is still liking his job, and my youngest nephew is still looking for a job. So he said he applied someplace. I can't remember what he said now. I'll have to ask him again what he said because I don't remember. My memory is horrible some days. Anyway, I got to talk to all of them. My youngest has been asking me when I'm going to start decorating for Christmas because typically when we were in the States, the day after Thanksgiving was when I put up all of our Christmas decorations. So we'd have Thanksgiving dinner either at my house or my sister's house, and then once Thanksgiving was over, on Thursday, on Friday, or Saturday if we had plans on Fridays. We didn't always celebrate Thanksgiving exactly on Thanksgiving Thursday, but The weekend after Thanksgiving was always when I started putting up our Christmas decorations. I wouldn't let anybody play Christmas music in the house until then. So everybody's coming over today to do our American Thanksgiving. So even though Thanksgiving is technically over, I haven't put up any Christmas decorations. I haven't been playing Christmas music because I wanted to wait until we were done with Thanksgiving dinner today before I started doing all that. It's been really hard. We have Sirius Radio, and there's a station that's been playing holiday music already. So I was tempted to listen to that, but I was like, nope, nope. Got to wait until I'm done. After I have my pumpkin pie or my chocolate pie for dessert, then I can say Thanksgiving is over and I can start putting up the Christmas tree. Also, I didn't want to move the crate. Everybody's coming over today to eat and also to meet the dogs. We took them to my mother-in-law's, so my mother and brother-in-law have met them, but nobody else has. So everybody else who's coming over today is going to be meeting them, and if they got overwhelmed, the dogs, not the people, I wanted them to be able to go hide in their crate if they needed to. So we're leaving it downstairs. But then after tonight, or possibly tonight, depending on how late everybody stays after we eat, I want to put the dog crate back upstairs so that we can put my Christmas tree in that corner of the room where I wanted it. I know there were several times when I've lived other places that I've put the Christmas tree somewhere that was not in the living room, but I don't like having it in the basement because even when I have basements, I'm just never somebody that spends a lot of time in the basement. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when I was a kid, when we first moved into our new house, after my dad graduated night school and we moved into our new house, it was less expensive. The mortgage was less expensive. It was one of those split level houses that were so popular in the 80s. So there was like 4 levels, but it was like half stairs to each level. Does that make sense? So my brother and I were going to have bedrooms on the garden level where our windows would be right level with the ground. But to keep the mortgage less expensive, my dad, who knew how to build stuff, decided that he would do the construction on our bedrooms. So when we moved in, our bedrooms were not finished and we had to wait for my dad to finish them. So my brother and I were stuck in the basement with a curtain in between us for like a year and a half, it felt like. Probably wasn't that long, but it felt that long. And if it's not one thing, it's another. After we went and got our teeth cleaned, like 2 days later, my son comes to me and says, my wire broke loose. I'm like, what are you talking about? He has a wire behind his bottom teeth in the front to keep his teeth straight after all of his orthodontic work that he had done. And we didn't know it at the time because the orthodontist didn't tell us, but it's supposed to be a permanent one, which he was annoyed by because he would rather have, like, his top retainer is removable, which is what he thought the bottom one was going to be. So we didn't realize until after she put it in there that that's what it was going to be like. And he hates it because food gets stuck in it and everything. Well, now it's come loose. It was cemented in like 5 different places. Now only the 2 edges are still hanging on. So I called the hygienist and said, where do I go? Can I just call a regular dentist? Do I have to try and find an orthodontist here in Canada for him? Because if we were back in the States, I would just take him to the place that we'd been and they would do whatever. But he wants it taken out completely. So I don't know what we're going to do. The hygienist told us to go back to the dentist and they could either re-cement it or take it out, whichever one he wants done. But I mean, he's had it for 6 years, I think. So I would think if any of his teeth were going to move, they would have by now. But I'm not an orthodontist, so I really don't want to have to try and find one here, though. Can't imagine how much that would be. They're expensive enough in the States. I am really enjoying this kit. I just haven't had very much time to work on it. It is quite a bit more confetti than I was expecting, but once I sit down and work on it, it actually goes pretty fast. So I won't get it done by the end of November, obviously, since that's today, but I'll at least make some more progress on it before I start working on other things. And lastly, I think I told you guys last week, hubby bought me some new games on Steam, which is like a gaming platform. We found a couple of games that I could play on the Mac, which he bought me 2 that I can play on my Mac laptop, and then the other one, the power washing game, I can only play on a Windows machine. So we've got an old laptop I'll be using for that. But I was like, I don't want to start playing all of these before Christmas, since these are supposed to be Christmas gifts. Not that he cares, but I do. I've been playing my one game, the Whisper of the House game, and I completed the game, but then there's achievements and everything to unlock. So I was like, well, I'll just go back and do everything there is to do. So there's items that you can buy and find to decorate houses and things. So I finally managed to get all of those yesterday. But then there's little puzzles that you have to figure out. And one of the puzzles doesn't exist for me anymore. Like, I think I actually did part of it, but then I didn't know there was another section to it. So you had to move this picture, and then you were supposed to find this item behind the picture, which I did not do. But then it says after you complete it, you find this hidden room and you get a letter from the person that owns the house. Well, I didn't find the hidden room, but I did get the letter from the person who owns the house, which they said was what I needed for the achievement, but it didn't give me the achievement. So now I have everything done except for that one thing. And of course, it was something that happened very early in the game, and now I can't go back and reset anything. And I don't have a save that's close to that. So basically, if I want to do it at 100%, my only option is to go through and do the whole game again, which at first I was like, ugh, that sounds terrible. But then I was like, well, now that I know everything that I need to do, I feel like I'd be able to spend more time searching around for stuff, and I wouldn't miss so much stuff the first go round. Also, I won't waste as much time trying to get into areas that I thought would unlock but don't. I have since found out. And also, they're supposed to be doing an update in December, so if I wait until the update comes out, then there might be new stuff for me to do as well. And I will be more diligent about making different save files. I just had one, which was dumb of me. I should have had more than one, but I just didn't think to do it that way. So I may go back and play it all over again, and that'll keep me from wanting to open up one of the other ones until it's at least closer to Christmas, at least in December, just to make myself feel better. Oh, and hubby did take in both of the cars to get them undercoated before true winter hits. We still don't have any snow. They're saying that we're going to get some, but I haven't seen any yet. There have been a few places around us that have gotten some, but not us. I know there's places in Canada that have gotten quite a bit, but not where we are. And it's really funny. I went out the other day for my volunteering that I'm doing, and it was raining here, but by the time I drove into town, it was actually snowing in town. It wasn't accumulating or anything. It was too warm. It was basically just hitting the windshield as a snowflake and then melting, but still more than we got here. It's supposed to be really windy here, and it's supposed to start getting colder. So maybe now instead of getting rain, we'll get snow, but we'll see. Because by this time last year, we already had way more snow than we have so far. Anyway, hubby got the cars undercoated so that hopefully they won't rust out with all the snow and everything, the salt that gets put on the roads. One last thing, hubby has been buying lottery tickets. They do a lottery up here called Chase the Ace, where basically you buy like it's sort of like a raffle ticket, but it's for money, and you put your name and number in, and then they call you, and then you have to try and pick the ace of hearts out of the cards that they have on the deck, and then if no one wins, they take a card away each week, and of course the pot gets bigger. Our local one is up over $1 million, which is crazy, but boy, I would love to win that. Think of all the things I could do with it, not just for hubby and I, but for family as well. We'll cross our fingers and see what happens. I would just like for them to draw our names, because you get a consolation prize even if you don't win the big prize. And the consolation prize, I think last week, was $60,000 or something like that. I could do some damage with $60,000. I could have bought every Black Friday kit. Not that I would have done that even if I could, but okay. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, I was talking about the games, my power washing game. I was telling my daughter that hubby bought them for me. She actually has the power washing game and she plays it too. And I was like, okay, good. So if I get stuck, I can ask you for pointers on what to do. But apparently there's two different versions, and I'm not sure which one I have, so. But she's playing hers on the Xbox, and I'll be playing mine on a PC. I will still be using an Xbox controller, so that was the hardest part of the demo was figuring out how all the controls work. I think that's why I don't like gaming very much, except for some like these cozy games where I have time to figure stuff out and I'm not under a time limit. In real life, I don't mind being under a time crunch, but not in a game. That's supposed to be relaxing. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you guys for my regular life. So let's jump into my diamond painting life. What's going on in there? More than usual, surprisingly. So if you haven't seen yesterday's video, go check it out. I saw these when I was out shopping for other things, and I came across the Forever Young pattern mini kits, I guess is what they call them, mini gems or something like that. They do also sell mini gem mini kits that are like the paint gem minis and the DAC mini dazzlers and all that stuff, mini dazzles, whatever. Seems like everybody's getting into that mini game. I saw that Orloa had some mini kits. I don't remember seeing any on Dreamer Design, but they probably have some. I wanted to get some from Orloa, but I decided against it for now. I didn't want to buy just mini kits. I wanted to buy a bigger kit too, and they didn't have anything in stock that I was in love with, so I didn't get anything there. So has anybody tried any of the minis besides the paint gems and DAC? I was curious about quality from other companies. I think even Bella Art had some once upon a time, but I don't know if they're still in stock. I don't remember seeing them when I went to look at their website the other day, but I could have just missed them. Anyway, I really liked the pattern minis. I think that it'll be a great way for me to use up some of my spares and make some room. I had this idea when I started saving my spares that I was going to do all of these conversions and use up all of my spares, but it just hasn't happened. Finding a way to make them useful and not just sitting around in bags sounded like fun. And I actually think doing the little Forever Young ones will be fun to do. Gives you some guidelines if you need them, but also enough freedom to be creative if you want that. So I thought they were fun. And they weren't super expensive, I didn't think, for what you got. I mean, you have to provide your own drills, but there's 24 in each kit, in each package, whether you get round or square, because shipping is crazy. Mail in general is crazy. I am still waiting to see if we're going to get anything on our tolls. We still haven't got anything yet. Mail is moving here. They say it's moving slow, but it doesn't seem slow to me. I did go out and order some stuff from Diamond Art Club. I think I told you guys last time I was looking at ordering some stuff using my points, and I did. And I'm trying to figure out how all of this works because I'm pretty sure it got to me here in Canada faster than it got to me when I was still living in the US. Like, I remember it taking almost a week, and the one here was here in like 3 days, which is crazy. And one of my boxes was not in great shape. I don't know what the shipper put it through, but the outside box was pretty mangled, and one of the inside boxes looks like it had been through a wringer, but everything else was fine. So I'll share what I got in some future videos, including I did actually buy 2 things on Black Friday. I had told myself I wasn't going to. Hubby was actually looking through some of the kits with me to see if there was anything that he thought that was something I would like, something that seemed to be my style of diamond painting, the kinds of paintings I prefer. And he picked one of them, but when I went to go look at it, it was already sold out. I knew they would restock some of them for the general release. So I had 2 or 3 that I had my eye on. So when they did the general release, I went back and got the 2 that I'd had my eye on, which I probably shouldn't have done, but oh well. They're on their way now, so I'll show you those later as well. The other thing, I told you guys I wanted to donate some stuff to Diamonds for a Better Tomorrow. I shipped a bunch of stuff out. I donated a bunch of stuff out when we were living in the States, but shipping is stupid expensive everywhere, but apparently especially here. And I know everybody tried to warn me that it was going to be like that, but it just seems crazy to me. So they have flat rate shipping boxes, and I went and got a couple of those, two different sizes, thinking that I could take some of the kits that I want to donate out of their original boxes and put them in these boxes and then ship them out that way. Nope. The kits that I was going to donate, some of them are quite large, and short of literally folding them up, there's no way that they're going to fit in either of these boxes. So I filled them up with other things. I did have some small kits that I was going to donate that I managed to roll up and fit in there. And then I filled up the rest of them with like trays and extra wax and extra tool kits that I have floating around because I don't generally keep anything out of the toolkits. I don't need the little boats. I don't use the pink wax. I don't keep the tweezers. I have two pairs of tweezers and that's enough for me. I don't need any more. So cover minders that I don't really use, all that stuff, kind of some washi tape that I didn't need got shoved in there. A couple of pins that I don't really use got shoved in there. So I went looking around and asking questions of other people who live here in Canada to see if there was something I was missing. Now, in the States, I use something called Pirate Ship. And basically, it's a carrier that lets people sign up for accounts, for free accounts. It doesn't have to be a paid account. And basically, they're a volume shipper. You use their software on the computer, their program, you weigh, measure all of your packages, print out the label, pay through Pirate Ship, and then because it's all coming from them, they get like a bulk discount through the post office or UPS or whoever. So you can compare in the States, UPS, FedEx, and the Postal Service to see which one is cheaper for whatever package. Because everybody has weird rules. The post office always hikes their prices around Christmas time because they know they're going to be super busy. So I was looking for something like that. Apparently, that doesn't really exist in Canada, or at least not in maritime Canada. Somebody told me they used, oh, what was the name of it? Stallion Express. So I guess like the Pony Express used to be. So same sort of thing as Pirate Ship, but they don't serve the province that I'm in. There were 3 or 4 other ones that I found. None of them serve the province that I'm in. If I wanted to ship it from a different province to myself, then I could do that, but I can't ship it from where I am to someplace else. And in talking with some people who live here, she's like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. She's like, I literally could ship a kit to Australia for cheaper than I could mail that same kit to somebody here in Canada, which is insane. And everyone you read, or at least every post that I read from these shippers, said that there's a lot of extra charges in Canada because everybody is so spread out. There's a lot of more fuel costs incurred. A lot of the carriers charge extra to deliver to what they consider rural addresses. I don't know what qualifies as rural, but I'm guessing not a big city like Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. So it's been challenging. So I don't quite know what I'm going to do because it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to donate these kits and then end up paying, in some cases, more than I paid for the kit to send it to somebody so that it can be mailed out yet again to somebody else. So I don't know. I need to talk to the people that are doing the donations and see if there's a workaround. I know they like to send packages with all the extra stuff, but maybe because the person here in Canada is just mailing to people in need here in Canada, maybe that person could send out like all the extras, the trays and pens and whatever else they send as extras. I think I sent some release papers as well. Then instead of them mailing out the actual kit, I could mail it to wherever it's going, and then at least it's only getting postage once. And then instead of them mailing it out, I could mail it out. That doesn't make it any cheaper though. I mean, I was just wanting to be helpful and provide some kits to people who maybe couldn't get them any other way. I mean, I think at some points it'd be cheaper just to buy the kits directly from DAC and let DAC deliver some. That's the other thing I'm waiting for. I still haven't gotten, my sister has sent me 2 packages and I haven't gotten another thing from UPS about extra postage that I needed to send or fees that I needed to pay or whatever. I haven't gotten anything. Now, Diamond Art Club did say on the website that everything, duties, taxes, everything should be paid. So I shouldn't have to pay anything else. But, other people say that too. That's been a bummer. I was out actually looking at some of the smaller stores that I would like to buy from, but there were a couple of them, and I get it, that were like, all we can do is ship your kid out. If you get stuck with extra postage, duties, import fees, whatever, that's your responsibility. I get that as a small business person, but as a consumer, yeah, I don't have any idea how much it would be, so I would have no way to budget for that. I mean, someone told me they ordered something and from the US and literally got stuck with over $100 in fees. I mean, that's the price of one kit, if not two, from a licensed company. So, yeah, I don't want to get a surprise bill like that. So, yeah, stuff is a little bit crazy right now. I keep thinking that it will settle down, but I don't think it's gotten better since COVID. And I would buy that things are more expensive, except that all the people at the top of the companies, the CEOs and all of that, are making record profits. So somebody could stand to make a little bit less money to lower some prices for the rest of us. If you're a billionaire, I don't think making 100,000 less or even $1 million less a year is going to hurt your bottom line. Just greed. At some point, we'll realize that greed is not good. Not sure when that will be, though. Anyway, getting off topic here. So back to diamond paintings. Let's see. Shipping. Oh, and I mentioned this is the last day for our diamond paint along for DP for Veterans. I'm still working on this kit, so I will show it when I get it completed. But I did see lots of you completing lots of wonderful kits. I actually was looking through my stash and thinking that I don't know if I have a kit that would fit for this next year. So of course I had to get one. So we'll see how long it is before I share that with you guys. I don't plan to do it until next year, so it'll probably be an inventory, a stash video before you guys see what it is. But I know that lots of cool paintings came out that could be used for it, so make sure you mark that on your calendars. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to continue to do DP for Vets and DP for Vets Pets as events. I may just keep them as diamond paint-alongs, just because, see previous rant about shipping. And I think I have a schedule for the diamond paint-alongs for next year. I'm still working on my schedule for next year, but we discussed and everybody seemed to think it was a good idea. So we're going to skip December because everyone is crazy busy, I know. In January, we will start with our winter theme. We'll skip February, and then I will be holding a poll for March. I think I'm going to do a poll, well, several polls during December to figure out what the themes will be for next year for all the diamond paint-alongs, so everybody will know and everybody can make plans. I am trying to do that myself as well. I've got my big goals set for next year, but now I need to figure out how I'm going to break them down. I know what big projects I think I want to do for each month, but then I need to go back and kind of fill in with other things because I need to finish more than just those kits each month if I want to meet one of my other goals. I just got to figure out how I want to balance things so that I'm not feeling overwhelmed. Because it's one of those things where it's nice to have a plan in place, but I also don't want to lock myself into something so rigidly that I don't have room to decide, oh, you know what, instead of doing this, I'm going to work on that. Because I do need a little bit of spontaneity available. See, I think that's the second time that I've had to put that color. It's just like one random drill. Like, why have that color? Just make it one of the other colors surrounding it. No one would ever know. Who knows? Anyway, is that everything? I think that's everything. So I made a little bit of progress. I got my daisies here finished. So you can see I've got the flower basket and the daisies finished. So I'm just going to fill in the last little bit of grass in this section. And then I can move up into, this is going to be the little wagon with the watermelons. And then I'll start moving into the camper and some of the other stuff. So this one will be fun. I think, like I said, I think it's a little more confetti than I was actually used to, but I think it's looking good so far. So if any of you genius people out there have had any experience shipping things within Canada and have a suggestion for someone who lives in Atlantic Canada, a way to make it as cheap as possible, let me know. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. And here are some cute puppies. What are you doing, Sable? With your legs crossed, so pretty. What are you doing? Hi, Sable. Hi, Sable. Hi, Sable. Good girl. Oscar, what are you doing? 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 Are you being a good boy? Are you being a good boy? Yeah. Are you being a good boy? Oh. Hello. Hi, Oscar.